Hi, this is Clint from Versa. How would Versa Zero Trust on-prem work with a Versa SD-WAN enforcing Zero Trust? So quick review, what is Versa Zero Trust Everywhere? This is our Zero Trust solution that spans remote workers and on-prem. The security policy follows the user. You can manage a single security policy and enforce it at Versa SSE Gateway or on-prem Zero Trust enforcement points. And this does allow you to enforce security policy for IoT and other headless devices. And you do have a consistent user experience for both on-prem and remote workers. So in this solution, you can build your single centralized security policy. You can have different user groups. In this example, employee, limited access employee, contractor. And for each user group, there's an endpoint policy, a private application policy for internal enterprise applications, and then an internet egress policy. And these can all be as simple or as complex as you'd like. So we can enforce these policies either at the Versa Cloud Gateways or a Versa SD-WAN appliance or a Versa switch or a Versa Zero Trust VM. So in this slide, we're looking at a Versa on-prem Zero Trust scenario using a Versa SD-WAN appliance for Zero Trust enforcement. And why are we doing this? Well, we do support applying Zero Trust policy at a Versa CSX switch, but it'll take a long time to replace all our edge switches with Versa CSX switches. So this is looking at the idea of using the Versa Secure SD-WAN appliance, which is a required appliance in each site, to also do Zero Trust enforcement. So in this diagram, we have two sites. We have a corporate office with a Versa Secure SD-WAN appliance, some LAN infrastructure, and we're showing a couple sample clients. We then have a data center also with a Versa Secure SD-WAN appliance, some switch infrastructure, and then we're showing application A and application B in the data center. We're also showing a single Versa SSE gateway, and the SSE gateway is a way to enforce internet egress security policy and zero trust policy. So in this example, we're using the Versa device as a Versa Zero Trust enforcement point. And we have a simple set of policies, one for a marketing user that allows them to access application A. And they have an endpoint policy that they must have antivirus enabled and up to date. We then have a policy for Apple TVs that allows them to access the internet to get software updates. And we then have for unknown devices, we want to deny any network access beyond the Zero Trust enforcement point. So if we look at this marketing user, they've got the Versa software client installed. They have AV enabled and up to date. So when they try and access application A, they're going to hit the Versa Zero Trust enforcement point. The posture check will say that they're an allowed client, and they'll also check that application A is an allowed application, so that traffic will move across the SD-WAN and go to application A. If the same user tries to access application B, when it hits the Zero Trust enforcement point, we'll determine that application B is not permitted and block that traffic. The next example is a marketing user running the Versa client, but with AV disabled. So when this traffic hits the Versa Zero Trust enforcement point, the traffic will be denied because the user is not compliant with the endpoint policy. For the Apple TV devices, when they try and access the internet to get a software download, when they hit the Versa Zero Trust enforcement point, they'll be allowed to access the internet because this is a permitted policy. For the unknown devices, if they try and go north of the Versa Zero Trust enforcement point, this will be denied because they are not allowed access to anything north of the Versa Zero Trust enforcement point. In terms of enforcing internet egress policy, we can either do that at the Versa SSE gateway or the Versa Secure SD-WAN appliance. It's your choice. So in the previous example, we looked at using a Versa Secure SD-WAN appliance to be the Zero Trust enforcement point. But we have other options. We can push Zero Trust close to the user by deploying Versa CSX aggregation switches and using these as zero trust enforcement points. This substantially reduces the zero trust domain. We can go further and actually refresh all the edge switches to Versa CSX switches, and this pushes zero trust all the way out to the edge Ethernet port. And then going forward, as Versa brings Wi-Fi access points to market, they will also be zero trust enforcement points. We hope you found this useful. Thanks a bunch. Have a great day.